80%. That is the staggering number of children in the United States who report feeling intense pressure to perform socially before they even reach middle school. But here is the kicker. Nearly 60% of parents believe that the best way to help a shy child is to push them into the spotlight. They think if they just nudge them hard enough into that birthday party circle, or force them to order their own pizza at a restaurant in downtown Chicago, the shyness will just evaporate. But the science tells a completely different and, frankly, much more sobering story. If you are currently trying to fix your child's quiet nature by forcing them to be more outgoing, you might actually be dismantling their self-esteem brick by brick without even realizing it. This episode is going to change everything you think you know about confidence. We aren't talking about turning your wallflower into a Broadway star. We're talking about building an unshakable internal foundation that allows them to thrive on their own terms. Why is it that we, especially in American culture, view quiet as a problem to be solved? Think about a typical playground in Los Angeles or a classroom in New York. The kids who are loud, assertive, and out there are the ones we label as confident. Most parents see their child hanging back, observing from the sidelines, and they feel this immediate surge of anxiety. They think, if my kid doesn't speak up now, how will they ever survive a job interview? How will they lead? This is the extrovert ideal trap. We've been conditioned by decades of self-help books and corporate culture to believe that confidence equals noise. Because of this, we resort to the push. We say things like, "Go on, don't be shy," or "Just go talk to them, it's not that hard." But here's the biological reality. When you force a child who is temperamentally slow to warm into a high-stimulation social situation, you aren't teaching them confidence. You're triggering their amygdala. Their brain enters a state of fight or flight. Over time, they don't become more social. They become more anxious because they've learned that their natural state of being is wrong or disappointing to you. But look at the world's most successful innovators, the deep thinkers, the meticulous engineers in Silicon Valley, the authors. They didn't get there by being the loudest in the room. They got there because they had a quiet, ironclad confidence in their own abilities. The secret isn't getting them out of their shell. It's making the shell so strong and secure that they feel safe to step out of it on their own timeline. Let's look at the data. A landmark study from Harvard University followed children from infancy into adulthood. They found that kids labeled as highly reactive, those who were easily overwhelmed by new sights and sounds, actually grew up to be some of the most conscientious and empathetic leaders, if their parents didn't overprotect or overpressure them. The difference in success between the group that thrived and the group that struggled wasn't their personality. It was the parental response style. Here is the secret that most parenting influencers won't tell you. Confidence is not a social skill. It is a feeling of competence. When a child feels they are good at something and that their parents trust their judgment, confidence follows naturally. You don't need to teach them how to work a room. You need to teach them how to trust their own gut. To help you navigate this, I've developed a framework called the S.A.F.E method. It stands for space, autonomy, feedback, and empathy. This isn't just a theory. It's a toolkit used by child psychologists to help kids build resilience without the trauma of being forced into the deep end. Let's break down S for space. This means allowing your child to be a spectator before they are a participant. Imagine you're at a busy neighborhood barbecue in a suburb of Houston. Instead of dragging your child into the middle of the yard to play tag, you let them sit on the porch with you for 20 minutes. You say, "We're just going to watch for a bit." By doing this, you are letting their nervous system habituate to the noise and movement. You're giving them the lay of the land. Most parents think this is coddling, but it's actually scaffolding. You are the home base. Once they feel the environment is predictable, their natural curiosity will eventually outweigh their fear. I remember a case study of a young boy named Leo. Leo wouldn't leave his mom's side at birthday parties. His mom started arriving 15 minutes early, before the chaos started. Leo got to see the empty room, meet the host, and own the space. By the time the other kids arrived, he was the veteran. He didn't need to be pushed. He was already comfortable. Next is A for autonomy. Confidence dies in the shadow of helicopter parenting. If you are constantly intervening, hovering, or speaking for your child, you are sending a subconscious message. I don't think you can handle this. In a typical American household, we are often in such a rush that we do everything for the kid. Let me zip your coat. Let me tell the waiter you want chicken fingers. Stop. Give them micro choices. Ask, do you want to pay the cashier the $5, or should I? If they say you, that's fine. But next time, maybe they'll take the bill. This builds self-efficacy. There's a famous study involving two groups of kids solving puzzles. One group was helped whenever they got stuck. The other group was left to struggle a bit. The group that struggled ended up with significantly higher perceived competence. They believed in their ability to solve problems because they actually did it. Now, F is for feedback, but not the kind you think. We need to stop saying, "Good job," or "You're so brave." Those are empty calories. They focus on the outcome or a fixed trait. Instead, use process praise. If your child finally joins a group, don't make a big deal of it later by saying, "I'm so glad you weren't shy." That actually makes them more self-conscious. Instead, say, "I noticed you watched the game for a while and then decided to join when they started the second round. That was a smart way to get comfortable." You are reflecting their strategy back to them. You are showing them that they have a system for bravery. Finally, E for empathy. Never, ever use shyness as a label or a weapon. When you tell a relative, "Oh, she's just shy," in front of your child, you are giving them a cage to live in. They think, "Oh, I'm shy. This is who I am. I don't do social things." Instead, validate the feeling without the label. Say, "It's a lot of new people, isn't it? It's okay to take your time." This tells the child that their feelings are a normal reaction to a situation, not a permanent flaw in their character. If you start this today, what does the roadmap look like? It's not an overnight transformation. This is a rewiring of the brain. Weeks 1 and 2 are the observation phase. Your only goal is to stop the push. No more forcing eye contact with strangers. No more go play with your cousins. Your job is to be a safe harbor. You'll notice something strange. When the pressure is removed, the child often becomes more adventurous. It's the rubber band effect. When you stop pulling, they stop resisting. Weeks 3 and 4 are about micro-challenges. These are low-stakes tasks. Have them press the button in the elevator. Have them ask the librarian where the Dog Man books are. These aren't social performances. They are functional tasks. You are building the muscle memory of interaction. You might see some pushback. They might say, "No, you do it." That's a red flag that they feel performance anxiety. Just back off and try an even smaller task the next day. By month 2, you'll start to see the spark. This is when the child initiates something on their own. Maybe they say hi to a neighbor first. This is the most critical moment. Do not over-celebrate. If you throw a party because they said hello, you make it a big deal again, which adds pressure for next time. Just nod, smile, and move on. Make confidence feel normal. But what happens when things go wrong? Let's talk troubleshooting. What if your child has a total meltdown at a New York City birthday party and refuses to go inside? Most parents feel embarrassed. They think the other parents are judging them, so they get angry. "You're embarrassing me. Just go in." This is the worst move. The cause isn't defiance, it's sensory overload. The solution? The 2-minute reset. Take them back to the car or a quiet hallway. Don't talk about the party. Talk about something neutral, like what you're having for dinner. Once their heart rate drops, ask, "Do you want to try going in for just 5 minutes? We can stand by the door." Usually, the 5-minute contract works because it gives them an exit strategy. Confidence is easier to find when you know you aren't trapped. Now for the advanced layer. If you want to raise a truly resilient child, you have to master second-hand confidence. Kids are like little sponges for our own anxiety. If you are nervous about how your child is behaving, they will pick up on your cortisol levels. To get to the master level, you need to model confident vulnerability. Talk out loud about your own social nerves. "I'm a little nervous to go to this office party because I don't know many people, but I'm going to go and find one person to talk to about their hobbies." When your child sees that you feel fear but have a plan to handle it, they realize that confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the management of it. This is the difference between a child who looks confident and a child who is confident. Let's recap the journey we've taken today. We've debunked the myth that shyness is a defect. It's often just a different, more observant way of processing the world. We've learned that the push is the enemy of progress. We've established the S.A.F.E framework: space to observe, autonomy to choose, feedback on the process, and empathy for the struggle. Your first step tonight is incredibly simple. I want you to find one moment where you would usually help or speak for your child, and just wait. Wait 5 seconds longer than you usually do. If they are struggling to find a word or reach for a toy, give them that 5-second window of productive struggle. That is where the first seeds of independence are planted. If you do this consistently for just 10 days, you will start to see the rewiring happen. You'll see a child who stands a little taller, not because you told them to, but because they realized they could stand on their own. I want to hear from you. What is the one social situation that always seems to trigger your child's shell? Is it school drop-offs? ordering food. Comment below with your story. I read every single one, and I'll be answering as many as I can to give you specific strategies for your unique kid. In our next episode, we're diving into the resilience gap. Why some kids bounce back from failure while others crumble, and how you can failure-proof your child's mindset before they hit middle school. You won't want to miss it. Until then, give them space, give them grace, and watch them grow. See you next time.